I had experience, but I didn't play high school football. I stopped in about 8th grade, but I knew football. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it wasn't that. Only thing that was new to me, Ant, that playbook, bro. That play, it was like reading hieroglyphics, bro. I didn't know what I was looking at. The whole time I was thinking about it, I said, well, how this first hit gonna feel? And you know what, man? I'm thinking like I'll catch the ball and I'll take my first hit. Nah, man. I was blocking and I took a hit. I was like, dang.
Got a special guest, man, on today. Got my guy Murphy Holloway. Murphy played with me overseas, and of course, he actually had a little stint with the Ravens, and that's why we got him on right now with all the talk around Austin Rivers and the NBA, NFL discussion, man. Murphy gonna shed some light on his experience, and we're just gonna chop it up. But first, man, Murph, welcome to Swish Coaches, baby. What's good?
Man, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you having me, dog. You know, we go way back, man.
Yeah, way back.
Glad we still locked in at it, man.
Nah, you already know him, bro. You already know him, man. But we're gonna get straight to business, man. So I remember when we played together, you shared that you actually made the team with the Ravens and spent your first year out of college with the Baltimore Ravens. Now,
Yeah.
explain how that whole situation came about and if you had any prior football experience.
You know what, man? I actually was just playing basketball, bro. A guy from the Ravens hit me up and was like, man, I seen the way that you played basketball, man. Your physique, how you were built. You know, we think you can be a tight end. And I was like, cool, man. This was right before the NCAA tournament, so I really wasn't trying to hear it too much. You know, I'm still locked in on basketball. So then all of a sudden, bro, I started getting calls from every almost every NFL team. Like, you want to work out, you want to do this, you want to do that. So after the NCAA tournament, man, I entertained it. You know what I'm saying? I worked out for probably about 10 teams at our facility over here. And some of the football players was like, what are you doing over here working out? And NBA, NFL teams are in here. At the same time, man, I was doing NBA workouts. So I was at the Knicks. Then I'll come back here and have an NFL workout. So I was all over the place, man. Basically trying to see what was next, man. But I did play football growing up. Like I played since I was a kid. So I had experience, but I didn't play high school football. I stopped in about 8th grade, but I knew football. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it wasn't that. Only thing that was new to me, Ant, that playbook, bro. It was like reading hieroglyphics, bro. I didn't know what I was looking at. you know, I didn't know what I was looking at, dog.
Nah, so how did it end up coming down to you choosing the Ravens? And that was Ray Lewis and them was there at the time, right?
The year they had just won that championship, so I was there that next year.
Okay.
Ray Lewis was around, but it was more so like a mentor. Terrell Suggs and all them guys, man. So we had a squad.
Right.
And what made me choose the Ravens, bro, over everybody else, I was a free agent pickup, was my guy Michael Orr, man. Shout out to Big Mike. Mike hit me up and was like, man, you can stay with me. You know what I mean? Save your money, do this, do that. And so he made it easy, and he came from Ole Miss. So he made it an easy transition.
So what were those first few days, at Ravens training camp like, and what were your expectations heading into it?
Man, deer in the headlights. Like I said, man, that playbook, I had never read a playbook. So it's like you put something in front of me, I have no idea what I'm looking at. A couple of the guys helped me out, man. And like I said, I played tight end, so I had a lot of blocking coverages. And my form just wasn't right, man. Hips were still tight, so trying to come up out of a stance to block was difficult. So it was definitely deer in the headlights, man.
Dang. So
Yeah.
so that year you spent the majority of the year on the practice squad, man. I think you towards the end of the year you got elevated to the active roster.
Man, what we did was they put you on waivers. So when they put you on waivers, man, you basically you got a certain amount of time. You can go to another team or something like that. And so, I decided to do the practice squad, stuff like that, man. But actually slid to come overseas to Israel, a little bit later. Went to Israel. Not saying it wasn't my thing, but it was a lot to learn, and I enjoyed playing basketball. For me, somebody who's played the sport, it didn't really, it wasn't physically challenging to me,
Okay.
but mentally, as far as not knowing the plays, having a lot to learn, that was the hardest part, you
Right.
know.
I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of the talk versus like basketball players needing to make that jump in the NFL. A lot of, I guess, from the NFL side, it seems like they talk about the physicality and saying that's the reason that a lot of basketball players won't make it. Um, what do you think about the physicality of a basketball player trying to make it to the NFL? Does it depend more so on the position or what are your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna be real, man. You had to have played some sort of football in your life to go play in the NFL as a basketball player. Most basketball players, man, we don't like contact. Most of them don't. They don't like that contact. Even these days, man, you got post players. They don't really post up anymore. There's not many bangers. So it's tougher physically, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. You got the Allen Iverson story, man. AI was like, "Why you don't lift weights?" He's like, "Man, that shit heavy." And you gonna have to lift weights, man. And I'm gonna say that mentality, it's a little different, man. Basketball players, man, we're inside. You know what I mean? You're inside, you're in air conditioning. You can't control the weather outside, man. You know what I mean? You can't control it. I will say basketball practice is more demanding as far as conditioning. You know what I mean? We play both sides of the ball. Football, you play one side of the ball. Unless you're somebody like Travis Hunter now. You know what I'm saying? He plays both sides. But that physicality is a huge different dog, and that mental. It's a few players that Draymond Green, I feel like he can do it. I feel like he probably won't have the technique to do, some of the things, but toughness wise, he got it. It's a few guys that can do it in the NBA.
Right.
Yeah, it's a few guys that can do it.
Yeah, and I think what Austin Rivers was likely saying, I don't think he meant, and I don't know what he meant, but I think that there are, I don't know if there's 30, but there might be close to 30 players that can make an NFL practice squad or a roster. You know what I'm saying? In regards to
Yeah,
getting on that field and starting and taking a job from another NFL pro, nah,
yeah,
I don't think, I don't know if there's one. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I
yeah.
think as far as making the team, I think there are plenty of players in the NBA that are athletic enough. I mean, and even looking at yourself and my other boy Ed Nelson, he went to camp with the Rams, never touched a football
Hmm.
as a tight end as well. He was a big dude from UConn, but I think we're athletes. I think football is an athletic sport, and I think basketball is more of a skill sport. You got to combine skill
Hmm.
and athleticism because shooting
Hmm.
the basketball, that being the primary skill, I mean, you can't just go to
Nah,
22 years of your life, never shot a
nah,
basketball, and then come over here and make it to the league,
nah.
bro.
You'll
Like,
look, you'll look like a average Joe trying to walk into a gym and do it. If you ain't never touched a basketball, it's tough.
right.
It's a guy who actually played football. Played basketball at Ole Miss, named Jeremy Parnell. Played 4 years here. Played 1 year of football here. I might mix it up. He might have played defense here. Never got on the field at Ole Miss. Had a long NFL career, and he played offensive line.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Now he was about 6'6", 6'7", 300 pounds. He played basketball from Arkansas. He said he hasn't played football since eighth grade,
Right.
and he had a long NFL career, and he won a Super Bowl with the Saints.
Wow.
So just an example, I don't know if there's a football player that's ever came over and won a championship.
Yeah, I think the only football player I can remember was Charlie Ward. You know, what I mean,
Yep.
that made it to the NBA. But I mean,
Yep.
he was always a two sport athlete. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
and that's where I think that like if you put if you take any, I don't care what sport you play, you stop touching the basketball at 8th grade and go all the way through high school, all the way through college. You ain't making it to the NFL,
You're
bro.
not making it.
I mean, to
You're
the
not
NBA, bro. Like,
NBA. You're not making it.
nah.
You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. And I feel like the reason why basketball players can make the NFL, the athleticism, and you don't have to play both sides of the ball. And for defense, you need technique in everything you do, but you can teach it faster than you can teach that basketball. Man, you got to shoot the ball, you got to pass, you got to set screens, know how to roll. You know what I mean? So you got to know how to move your feet. Switching on a pick and roll.
Yeah.
Football, if you're a defense end, you can be a stand-up end, man, and if you can get through there and get to the quarterback, perfect. It's not as simple because you need technique. You need technique, bro. You ain't being no basketball player. You're not going over there to be a corner. No way. You're not. You have to be tight end, defense end. I ain't gonna even give you linebacker. You know what I'm saying?
Something simple.
Something simple. It got to be something simple that's just straight athleticism.
Right. Special teams and some shit.
Yeah, man. I remember I ran down on special teams. I was like, Coach, I don't know where to go. He said, block something, man. I'm in the woods trying to block a tree. I ain't know where to go, man. I'm like, man, this is my first day out here, bro. He said, special teams, Holloway. I'm like, shit, I don't know where to go. I just ran down the field, man. So it definitely was a learning curve, man. Either way you go, it's going to be learning.
So one of my last questions is like, so you played till 8th grade, and then like your next time playing is obviously at the highest level.
At the highest level.
What was it like getting hit? After not getting hit since you was like, 12, 13 years old, what was it like getting hit?
The whole time I was thinking about it, I said, well, how this first hit gonna feel? And you know what, man, I'm thinking I'll catch the ball and I'll take my first hit. Nah, man. I was blocking and I took a hit. I was like, dang. These boys ain't playing out here, man. I'm like, man, we ain't got pads on, bro. We ain't even, coach like, don't touch the ground if you ain't got pads. Like, no hitting. We ain't have pads on. Man, I came up out that block real slow, boom, and it threw me in the air. Next time, threw me on the ground. Technique was terrible, bro. But yeah, my next hit was by a cornerback. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it wasn't bad, man. So I thought about that first hit the whole time when I was like, man, someone gonna play football, but they hitting out there. Yeah. Luckily, I didn't get to go to a game where somebody were really hitting. You know what I'm
saying? Right.
But yeah, them hits, man. I know. Don't worry. Basketball players going to football. You're gonna think about them hits before you take your first. Once you take your first one, you'll be all right.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate you hopping on, sharing your experience, big dog.
No problem, my guy.
Yeah, no doubt. We out.